Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're new here. I'm going to be sharing in today's video 10 things in your house that you should be cleaning but you might not be cleaning. So I asked around a few friends and I was just asking like, hey, what do you clean in your house that you think other people do not clean, or maybe like they forget about? Because I know there are a few things that I forget about and then like weeks later I'm like, oh my gosh, that needs to be cleaned so bad. So I asked around a few friends, and then my mom is a housekeeper, and ever since I was little I remember our house always being clean. So I went to my mom and I asked her a few things like, what do you clean that you think normally people don't? So I have a list, so I'm going to share with you 10 things that you should be cleaning in your home but you probably aren't. And before we jump in, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button. I share cleaning motivation, home decor, organization, all of that type of stuff, so I would love to have you, and let's jump right in. So I know everybody knows to wash out their washing machine, but have you ever thought about where your laundry detergent goes? This little space gets so disgusting. Look how nasty that is in there. So I'm gonna take that completely apart, and you can see all of the mildew and all of the nastiness that was in there. So I am taking it completely apart, and I'm gonna use the Dawn Power Wash. This stuff is amazing to use on anything in your house. So I'm gonna let that soak on there for a minute while I go in the laundry room and take care of the actual washing machine, because this little area was pretty gross. You've seen all of the mold and mildew in there as well. So I'm gonna just scrub that out, and then I'm gonna go in and dry it thoroughly. So I'm gonna scrub it with a sponge and a brush, and I'm using the Dawn Power Wash in there as well because it works so good, and I know that is gonna kill all of the bacteria and get all of the mold and mildew out of that little space. And then I'm just gonna dry it. That way I know that it is thoroughly cleaned and there's no moisture harboring in there. I try to do this every few months just because this does get pretty gross in here. And then I'm gonna move back to the actual drawer that I pulled out, and I'm gonna scrub that all off with a sponge. You can see once you take it apart, it has more mold in between the pieces, so you really want to take it apart and get in there and just give this a good scrub. And then I just wash all of that off, dry it off, and put it back together.
I've been pushing away everybody I love. I don't know what to do, need a sign from above. I just want to be somebody who knows how to behave, but I'm not even close. Won't you save?
I don't know about you, but when I think of all of the doorknobs and the cabinet knobs in the house, they just get touched so many times a day by kids and my husband and obviously me. And you know, you go to take out the garbage and then you open your front door, or maybe your hands aren't completely clean. The kids have syrup on their hands, maybe from breakfast, and then they open the cabinet. So I like to go through and thoroughly wash off all of the doorknobs, cabinet handles, TV stand handles, anything like that that has been touched and you think there are germs on it or it just needs to be wiped off. I go through and I try to do this. It honestly does not happen every time I clean, maybe 4 times a year, but it does need to be done more than that because germs are literally everywhere. And then the next thing would be your remote controls. You don't realize how disgusting those get, and your phone. So that goes out with you everywhere. So you know how many germs are on that? So I try to wash that off as often as I can. And then look how gross the refrigerator vent gets. So I'm gonna wipe off as much as I can with a paper towel, and then I will go in with the vacuum and get the rest of it off, and then I'm gonna go in with the Dawn Power Wash and completely scrub that as good as I can. I could not figure out how to get my vent off, but if yours comes off of your refrigerator, you can really get in there and deep clean it even more. I plan to completely take it off and put it in the sink and really scrub it down and try to clean behind it, but I couldn't figure out how to get it off. So this actually worked really good too. I just took that sponge and really got in there with that Dawn Power Wash and got that clean. I know I really don't think to clean my refrigerator vent, but you definitely need to get in there and clean that. And then the next thing that I like to clean out every so often is my vacuum. I do have 2 large dogs that shed a lot. So when I hate vacuuming, and then after you vacuum, your house smells like dog. So I'm gonna completely take this apart and clean everything out. So for this part, I had to get scissors and cut off hair. This is also my hair and my daughter's hair because we do have longer hair. But a lot of this was just random like strings and dog hair, so that really needs to be wiped off. And I am taking a multi-surface spray and getting in there and scrubbing everything off of that as well. And I'm using the one that I made. It's Fabuloso vinegar, Dawn, and water. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you have heard me talk about this several times. It is one of my favorite multi-surface cleaners. So I am just taking that and washing all of this off. And to get into this little space, I'm just using a Q-tip. You will see how gross it really gets in there. And there was just lots of dust and dog hair, and yeah, so I'm gonna just spray all of that off, scrub it off really good, and I am literally wiping off every single piece of this vacuum.
Save me. Won't you save me? I am out here alone, 'cause there's nobody left. I need someone to talk to.
How often do you clean your vacuum, or do you even think to clean your vacuum? I know it's not really something that you would think every day, like, hey, I need to clean my vacuum, but honestly, if it starts to smell or it gives like a weird odor when you're vacuuming, it's time to clean that sucker out. So I am going in and really getting everything out of this vacuum. I want it to look like it was brand new again.
Get this pain on my chest. All the bad things I've done and the people I've hurt. Wanna take that part of me and leave it in the dirt. Won't you save me? Won't you save me? Won't you save me? Oh, save me, save me. Oh, I've been trapped in this darkness for far too long now.
All right, so now that I have most of the vacuum completely cleaned out, I'm gonna take the filters out. And with 2 large dogs, these do get pretty disgusting, so I do this once a month. I don't completely clean out the vacuum, like the entire vacuum like I just did once a month, but these filters do get cleaned out once a month. And I am just taking that Dawn Power Wash and letting that soak on there, and then I'm gonna scrub them really good. You do have to replace these filters every so often, but if you do wash them and keep up with them, you will make them last a lot longer. So I don't have to replace them that often, but you will see how clean they come with this Dawn Power Wash and just getting in there and scrubbing them. So it does make them last a lot longer. So it saves you money in the long run. And this also is going to help take down that odor when you're vacuuming. And my favorite thing to do is pour a little bit of an essential oil. So your favorite essential oil, pour it in your filter, and it is going to help your vacuum smell so much better when you're doing it. This actually has 2 different filters. So it has one in the back that I actually need to replace because it doesn't really come clean as well as those 2. But that one is usually the one that I put the essential oils on. And it just helps your house smell so good. So normally I do not like to vacuum before I have people come over because I don't want my house smelling like dog. But if you clean it out and do the essential oil, it will make your house smell so good, and you will want to vacuum before you have people come over. So this part you want to be super careful with depending on what vacuum you have, because this is where the plug and everything is for this vacuum. So I was trying to get as much out of this as I could with the hose, but you want to be really careful since there are electrical pieces on here. And then I just let all of that air dry for 24 hours and then you can use it the next day.
Wanna tear down the curtains, let the sun shine in. Oh, I've been seeking forgiveness.
So honestly, I was very embarrassed to show this just because these ceiling fans were pretty disgusting in my house. The one in my living room is even taller than this one. So that is why I do not clean these very often, because I either have to get a ladder or stand on my kitchen table, and I honestly just don't think about it because I have my ceiling fans running all of the time. I never turn them off. Just because in Florida it gets super hot, so you want to stay cool as much as possible, so I never turn these off. But the switch got turned off somehow and I looked up and I was like, holy cow, these are absolutely disgusting. So I went ahead and got them cleaned off, and you probably want to clean off your ceiling fans, I would say once a month, just so they don't get this gross. But my favorite trick is to grab a pillowcase and get as much of the dust and nastiness off of there as much as you can, because that is all just dead skin cells, and honestly, if you think about it, it's just absolutely disgusting. So I try to get as much off as I can with a pillowcase, that way it's not falling all over the floor and on our table or on me. And then I will go in with a multi-surface spray and just completely scrub everything down and get the rest of it off with that.
Cause I know I was wrong. Oh, I'm running out of time. I had to stay strong.
So once the ceiling fan is clean, I'm gonna go through and clean everything else off, because you know when you clean it, it does still fall on everything else. So I'm gonna really get this table scrubbed down and get the chair scrubbed off, because even though you're using the pillowcase, after scrubbing it, it still had a few things that fell down on here. So I did not want to leave that on there. So I am scrubbing down the dining room table as well as the dining room chairs. So the next thing is underneath your toilet seat. So if you have a weird odor in your bathroom, definitely take off the toilet seat, because underneath the caps it gets pretty gross. I could not get these completely off, but I got it loosened up enough so I could scrub underneath them. So sometimes they're easy to pop off and sometimes they just will not come off. These had like a weird little lock on them. So I did get them loosened up enough, like I said, so that I could scrub underneath them, but it would be a lot easier to just completely take them off. So I'm just really getting that Lysol cleaner sprayed underneath there and really getting under there and scrubbing that all. I wanted this bathroom to be completely clean. Nothing in here was gonna leave any weird odors or anything like that. So I am just giving this toilet a deep scrub and getting everything nice and clean in here. My favorite things to use in here are the Lysol. It has bleach in it. It is a bathroom cleaner with bleach, or the Ajax, or with bleach as well, and I actually picked that up at the Dollar Tree, and I use that in my bathrooms. And if I feel like there's a place in my house that really needs to be deep cleaned and you can use bleach on it, I will use the Ajax on there, and it's such a great cleaner and it's only $1. So this is definitely one thing that I don't feel like a lot of people think about, is the water straw on your refrigerator. So you really want to get in there and get this cleaned out if you see any mildew or anything, because you're drinking out of this and you are ingesting that. So you do not want to be drinking any mold or mildew. So I just took the Dawn Power Wash on a Q-tip and went in there and scrubbed that out really good, wiped it off, and then you just want to run water until you don't see soap anymore, because obviously you do not want to be drinking soap.
You had me at a low.
The next thing you're gonna wanna clean is your trash cans. I like to take mine and clean them every few months. This is the one in our laundry room, so this is the main trash can in our house, and I just like to take this one apart and completely scrub it out because it gets pretty gross. Obviously this is where all the trash goes, so it gets nasty, so I like to take this apart ever so often and completely wash it out, and I'm using the Dawn Power Wash to scrub it all off, and then I will just let it dry and put it back together.
Cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.
You can ride all the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday. Someday. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you.
The 10th thing you're gonna wanna wash is your mop head and mop bucket and the mop handle. The mop head was in the washer. These get pretty nasty. You are cleaning your floors with this, so I like to throw it in the washer after every use, or just at least soak it in some bleach, depending on how dirty it got that day. And I just wipe out the bucket because these get nasty too, and you don't want to be putting your fresh, clean water in here and then mopping your floor with a dirty bucket, because I know some of the stuff sticks in here. But I hope that this helped you, and let me know what are things in your house that you clean that you think other people don't. So I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.
It's so